There we go. Hello everybody, welcome back. And in today's video, we got a bit of a fun one. I just got my competition results back from the BJCP National Homebrew Competition. Overall, did average. But I wanted to go through the results and kind of go through the feedback, see if I taste what they taste, and kind of just evaluate what these were like when they got turned in. Because sometimes things happen between when you create something and whenever you turn it in to get evaluated, and some things happened. A little bit of a spoiler. This guy right here, he looks like he had a little bit of re-fermentation, and well, that's not great. So we'll be seeing what we can do from that. And he is going to be the first one we start out with. That is our summer saffron. And because we had some fermentation, I'm going to actually open it up in a bucket. Goodness. Yeah, that is gushing out. Oh, that is way overcarbed. That definitely had re-fermentation happen. It is substantially overcarbed. Let's go ahead through it. Overall rating, pretty bad. It's a 17.5. That is fair, but it's off flavors, aromas / major deficiencies in style. I'm not going to go through our judges' names here because I don't think that's appropriate. But I'm going to go through their feedback and comments and see if I get that. And we'll go from there. So, the first judge said there's soap up front on the aroma and that there is a fusel alcohol smell. I'm not getting necessarily soap, but I am getting a fusel alcohol. This does not smell as saffron-y as it was previously, too. It says herb dominates along with the soap aroma. I'm not getting the soap, but I am getting the fusels. It is an off smell. Flavor. It said burnt rubber overpowers any apple underneath. So this is obviously not what we wanted to send in. Sometimes this happens. So I'll discuss things after we're done taking a look at this one. So, oh, that is really unpleasant. It tastes sour. That tastes sour. Ugh. Okay, yeah, that got infected somehow. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that is not pleasant. Next comment is off flavor throughout. Don't know if it's fermentation. This is not what it tasted like post fermentation. This is bad. And then aftertaste lasting and not in a good way. I appreciate your honesty, first judge. Yes, that is true. Phenolic levels high, and yep, phenolic off flavor presented as burnt rubber hose, which may be the way the bottle gushed. Nope, this is very, very different than what I presented, what I created. There was definitely an infection that happened post fermentation. Second judge said bouquet is saffron, which I would agree for the most part. It is saffron, but it is definitely fusely. Color is saffron yellow. It is definitely still that color. Gusher bottle, not petulant, LOL. Yes, that is correct. This is not petulant. Saffron adds a bitter character. That bitter flavor is not from saffron. I'm going to have to go ahead and disagree with this judge here. That bitter flavor is from the fermentation, the re-fermentation bottle. He said, I would dial back the saffron substantially. I'm not getting any cardamom, honestly. It says, as a competition tip, don't list an ingredient unless it's evident in some way in the finished product. Good to know. I did not judge down because the saffron balance is the challenge for this cider. There's apple present in the mouthfeel with the saffron dominant. Creative idea for a cider you can hone in a future batch. I'm wondering if, since the bottle gushed, that there was infection going on in the bottle, phenolic in character. Yes, agreed. This is definitely an infected cider, and this happened post-fermentation. So that means that my sanitization or stabilization method was incorrect, and we will adjust that in the future. So this was the saffron cider. Overall was a 17.5, pretty bad. Not of the quality that I'd be used to doing, nor what I would like to turn into a competition. So I'm gonna have to correct that for next time. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump this. This is not drinkable. Okay, let's move on to the second one. We're gonna go ahead and start with the best rated one. So we go from the worst to the best rated one. This one was rated 31.7 overall. This is my British Humor cider. So let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open. Nice, good carbonation level. Exactly what we'd expect. There was no infection that happened here. Nice, good pour, good carbonation. Okay, let's go through the judge's comments. So the first judge said, light bittersweet apple aroma, restrained but present as expected. Agreed. There is a bittersweet apple note there. It is very restrained. It is more of a malolactic aroma. He says the fermentation, wet hay and faint cinnamon and spiciness. Give that a smell. Yeah, I can get a little bit of barnyard notes out of it. That's kind of the intent of this type of cider too. Fruit, bittersweet apple up front, some bruised apple notes on the flavor. Let's give it a little taste. This is lighter than I was expecting. By lighter, I mean less full-bodied. This kind of changed in profile after a little bit of time. It said bittersweet apple up front, some bruised green apple notes, beat up slightly oxidized notes. And getting a little bit of green apple notes. This is also unusual. This was not how this tasted either. Oxidized notes. Okay, let's give it a taste for oxidation. Oxidation is supposed to taste like cardboard. I'm not getting the oxidized notes, but I am getting kind of a presence that could be similar to it, I guess. Off dry. I would say this is completely dry. Moderate malic acid-like flavor. Yeah. Mouth-filling tannin, slightly astringent. Yes. Finish is strangely watery and finishes quick without much complexity. Yeah, this tastes different than what it was inside the tap. It kind of has a note that is a little bit more sharp than previously when it was on tap. I'm wondering what that's coming from. Tans are nice, but the apple flavor is slightly bruised and hurts complexity. Okay. The finish is quick and dominated by acid. Comes across thinner from the finish than from the front. Yeah, it is very thin. It's kind of watery. Obviously not what we were intending for this. It says flawless oxidation. Okay, maybe it is oxidation. It says feedback, tannin structure is lovely, but in fermentation and quality, esters are great. The apple flavor is starting to fall apart slightly, picking up some slightly oxidative notes. If that was missing the kit, this is a great cider character and complexity for world-class examples. Okay, so how would I correct this next time? I think that the commonality between these two, the first two, the ones that I'm tasting, is that my in-bottle sanitization process needs to be corrected. Like, there is something going on with the sanitization in the bottles. Whether it's coming from the actual counter-pressure bottle filler I have, or coming from something else. There is some off flavor that's being introduced in these bottles. And I'm not 100% certain what it is. All right, second one for this one. It says he's having trouble tasting the fruit. I mean, it is a British style cider. It's not supposed to be overtly fruity. I mean, it is present. It's not overwhelming, but it is present. It says kind of a yeast bomb. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that. That's just tannin structure. It's mostly tasting yeast. No, I think that's mostly the tannins, but thank you for your feedback. Cider is a bit harsh, mostly experiencing yeast profile. I'd like to experience more of the fruits. This is a British style cider. It's not supposed to be overtly fruity. I don't know if they're taking that into consideration here. Next one. Aroma. Complex apple aroma similar to spiced apple cider. Some funk in the background. Not getting any spices out of this. You're supposed to smell yourself to cleanse your nose. If I had to pick out something that might be spicy, it's kind of like a nutmeg. Little small hints of nutmeg. But that's really fighting with the funk. There is funk to it, but the funk is kind of intentional. Low alcohol detected. Yeah, I would agree with that. There's basically no alcohol in the bouquet. Fermentation, slightly yeasty character comes through as a funk. Appropriate fruity ester is detected. Yep, I would agree. Appearance, good example. Haze indicates may not be aged. This was actually aged quite a bit, so this cider is almost a year old from initial start of fermentation. So, yeah, I don't think it has to do with age. I think it has to do with the frickin' apple juice concentrate I use for this. It is really hard to clear. I'm going to be fixing that in the next iteration, which I'm starting to film now. But it'll probably be out like later this year, December-ish timeframe. Some funkiness coming through in the back end, but within style, yes, this is supposed to be a little bit funky. That is the intent. Sweetness, dry, yep. Medium acidity, I agree. Full tannin character, yes, definitely. Low alcohol warmth detected, yep. Carbonation is correct as described, agreed. Medium thin body. And then finishes with a tannic aftertaste, as it should. It balances towards tannins, but only slightly, so apple character comes through as a white wine. Yes, that is entirely true. It does come through as a white wine. That's disappointing. This is supposed to be more of like a heftier cider. I'm wondering if I need to leave it a little bit longer on oak. I left it 3 months on oak this time around. I'm thinking that now that I've tasted this, maybe I should just go ahead and toss the oak stick into our fermenter that I have going on with this. Just let it ferment on oak and sit for a real long time. This is a bit watery than what I had originally made, and it has that similar kind of sour note to it that's not supposed to be there. It doesn't have that sour note on tap. I wish I had some of this to try head to head. That is different tasting. And then it says flaws farmyard. Sorry y'all, I'm checking the PGCP website. Flavor / aroma, no overt apple character, but other esters and indicative of apples, particularly tannic varieties. English-style ciders go through malolactic fermentation and produces a spicy / smoky phenolic farmyard / old horse characteristics. These flavor notes are positive, but not required, and this was put as a flaw. I don't really want to be combative with the things. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you. Feedback, good cider, could use more apple character, more clarity. Okay. All right. Go ahead and I'm actually going to finish this one off. This one's pretty good. Okay. Next one is tropical pineapple. Give this blade open. Nice carbonation there. Ooh, that is a strong bouquet. My goodness. It smells like pineapple and lime peel off of the nose. That is very strong bouquet. It's like a dark bouquet. Aroma. Pineapple with a hint of lime / citrus. No apple aroma. Let me pour this into the glass. I love this cider. This one right here. Hi, Max. This was one of my favorite ones last year. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a nice little smell. Pineapple with a hint of lime / citrus. No apple aroma. I'm actually kind of getting some pithiness to it. Like pineapple skin. Not the actual like raw pineapple, but something kind of like dark from that. Alcohol. No smell of alcohol. Yep. Fermentation. No fermentation funk. Agreed. There is no fermentation funk on this. Yellow to dark gold. Carb seems low for sparkling. Yeah, it's probably pétillant. Flavor. Let's give it a taste. Ooh. That's really good. Sorry. I like this one a lot. It says, all pineapple, very strong. Apple is overwhelmed and missing. Too much juice. This might just be a coming down to preference thing. It is very pineapple-y, but I like pineapple. Yeah. Sweetness is high, lots of residual sugar. Yes. Yep, that's what I was going for. Some acids from the lime, which helps at the end. Yep. Expected more carb from a sparkling. Carb is more fitting to normal cider, which is pétillant. Yeah, I probably got marked off a point for that. Good full body. Sweetness lingers. Yes, it does. I still tasted sweetness in the back of my palate. Very sweet, which was the goal, but could use more apple flavor. Pineapple overwhelms. Yeah, I don't know. Like I agree. It is not. You can't taste the apple in this. So I'm just gonna be completely honest. It's all pineapple. This is all pineapple all day. It's going to a frickin' pineapple convention and having more pineapples. I love it. but that's probably not to style. Balance issue, missing the base cider. May want to reduce the amount of pineapple and make more background. All right, I got it. If I want to send this one again, I'll just have less pineapple. Gotta make these balanced for the judges. I enjoyed this, though. Personally, I would drink the hell out of this, and probably this is going to be the only one that I finish out of these bottles here. So next judge, bouquet of pineapple/lime. Yes and yes. Bottle inspection. He says, fine. Thanks. Clarity towards the brilliant side, which I would agree. Flavor, 10 out of 24. Flavor, fruit, cider, comma. Okay, no other comments there. I figured with a 10 out of 24 on flavor, there would probably be more comments here, but maybe let's see here. Lime zest dominates the aftertaste, produces earthy character, very acidic. Yeah, it is kind of pithy, very limey. Kind of what I was going for, but sometimes what you're going for isn't what's good for judging. That's I think the moral of this one. Initial pineapple lime zest confused the pineapple character. Not sure which way this was going. I like apple pineapple. Try without lime zest. Perhaps back off on the amount of pineapple. So, but 2 judges so far have said reduce the amount of pineapple on this one. Okay. Perhaps I will implement their suggestions next time. Overall, 4 out of 10. Significant flaws. Initial pineapple, the lime zest confused the pineapple character. Perhaps a balance issue? Maybe that's what they were meaning? I don't know. I wish they would have put more feedback on this one. Oh, they have lots of things to do. It's a large competition, so I can't expect loads of feedback every time. That's not realistic for me to expect. Wait, I'm going to finish this one. That's good. I'll let you try the saffron one. It's terrible. It got bad. Like real bad.
But it was so good.
It was. It's. There's also a slight funk on my British one.
Something smells really weird down here. Is it? It's this.
Yeah, it re-fermented.
I didn't smell it all. Like when I walked down the stairs.
Yeah, they said soapy and phenolic. Like, okay, yeah, probably.
Sorry, I don't.
No, don't. It's not great. The last one, which got a 29 out of 50, which both of these last two got a 29, which I am happy about. I know 29 is not a great score, but considering this is the second time I've submitted, I'm happy about that, and it'll just encourage me to make some changes for balance and produce better stuff. So that's the point of these competitions, so that you can get feedback, objective feedback, where you're not too close to something and you can make something better next time. So let's go ahead and give this boy a taste. This is one of my favorite ones. This is the Pullman Cider. Aroma, moderate juicy apple with some bittersweet notes underneath. Yes, yes, yes. And he says, Cheerios in the aroma, medium high, overpowering the fruit. I'm just getting sweet apple all around. This smells like apple juice. I'm not getting Cheerios at all. My goodness. Okay. It says inappropriate. Right, clarity it's towards brilliant as expected. And let's go ahead and give it a taste. This also tastes different than what I sent in. I think I might need a palate refresh. All right, camera overheated, palate refresh. Let's give this a taste. It's way more bitter than I remember. Has a lot of tannin to it. It's very tannic, much more than I remember. It still tastes good to me. I don't know. Okay, let's go through this. Flavor, moderate juicy apple with low bittersweet notes underneath. Apple has a slightly bruised and oxidized character. Once again, oxidation. I don't know if I get oxidized. Moderate sweetness, medium low acid. It says slightly ropey, mucousy body. There's something subtly off about this. Yeah, it does have a little bit of a weird mouthfeel. Balance is okay, sweetness is balanced by acidity, and light tannins for declared sweetness. Yep. There's a hard to describe funk on this, bordering on mousy. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. I kind of get that. The Cheerio and slight mousy quality of the cider, which is very distracting, lingers in the aftertaste from the base cider, which seems balanced. Watch sanitization throughout the process. Okay, next judge says slightly pear, and then alcohol pretty hot at first. I'm getting 0 alcohol on the palate. 0. And then big bready yeast profile. No, I'm not getting that either. But I actually kind of am getting that Cheerio note the previous judge said now too. That kind of vanilla note that I'd smelled previously is kind of made way to Cheerios. That's interesting. Flavor, apple flavor clearly present. Agreed. Sweetness clear, but expected higher for a medium sweet cider. Okay. Acidity is high, tannin is prominent, and the alcohol is noticeable but not overwhelming. Good, good, good. Carbonation present, but could be higher. I like the alcohol. I like the carbonation level here. Body is a bit medium body, and then aftertaste is mostly yeasty, which is crazy because this doesn't have any. I filtered this. It doesn't have any yeast in it. It doesn't have anything in it at all. It's filtered. Okay. All right. Their feedback is good cider, but expected more fruit and sweetness in the flavor and aftertaste. Would be nice to experience a bit more complexity given in the fruit, given the species used. Yeah, I agree. Would be nice to get more complexity out of that. Next judge, light apple aroma, medium/low, low alcohol detected, clean fermentation profile. This is what I would more agree with. I don't detect any fermentation funkiness at all. Aroma is a little light considering the medium sweet cider. Apple comes through as the star, but then he's saying there's sulfur character here as well. I'm not getting any sulfur. Sweetness is correct for how entered. Medium acidity. Nice fullness detected from tannins. Some alcohol detected in the back end of the throat. I don't really get any alcohol in this one, to be honest with you, but that's just maybe everybody's a little bit different on their perception of alcohol, but that's good. Body is medium, appropriate for sweetness. Bit of a harsh aftertaste, kind of sulfury. A rather bitter aftertaste. I think I brought this up last time when I was tasting it too. Maybe it was the beginning of an infection. Right, sulfur character does distract from the finish. Sulfites as a fault. I don't get sulfites, but alright. Balance is nice. Acidity, sweetness, and apple character all married well. Feedback. Tasty cider. The components are well balanced. I think I detected a sulfur compound in the flavor that distracted from the finish. Perhaps a fermentation issue. After consulting with the other judge, I believe the sulfur I'm getting may be from TDP instead of sulfur. I don't know what TDP is. If you know what TDP is, go ahead. Write that in the comments. No idea. Okay, well, that's it. Overall, meh. I think that these would have been rated a lot higher if they were what came out of my keg. But I believe that I might have some sanitization issues to track down, and we'll figure this out. Once again, if you submit to competitions, remember that these people are just people. They're here to help you. So that's the primary reason why you go to competitions, to get solicited advice and to get feedback. And identify any ways that you can improve. It's not for everybody, but I would say that if you are going to submit, you probably can get some pretty valuable feedback to improve your processes and make better ciders. So anyway, conclusion of this is that I probably have a bit of things to look at. But overall, okay. They liked the British one, which I'm making again, and I'll make it better this time because everything's continuous improvement here. So anyway, thank you all for sitting around and having me talk about how other people evaluated my ciders, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers. Happy cidering.